Everyone, this is update for July 4, 2022, day 131 of the war, end of the date update. So we're gonna skip general news and strategic, as there's pretty much nothing that you probably don't find in the news headlines. So we're gonna just jump straight to the works through the front line. As always, we're gonna start from the north in a clockwise fashion. So first we're gonna look at this border between Ukraine and Russia. It's stable in terms of there is artillery fire from both sides. Both sides are claiming that they're hitting ammunition depots on both sides, and that's sort of explanation why there is exchange of fire. In general, we actually would like to mention that, and we actually forgot yesterday, that Ukraine had used HIMARS rocket launchers to great success over the past 3 or 4 days, and specifically they were targeting Russian ammunition depots close to the front line, and they managed to destroy at least 4 large ones on Ukrainian territory, right? And then also some of them were destroyed near Belgorod, somewhere in the Belgorod region of Russia. So what this really means is that the main engine of their offensive, which is Russian artillery right now, is a little bit on low supply. We don't know for how long it will last. Maybe it will last 2-3 days. Maybe it will last for a week. But it's a fact that right now they running low on ammunition locally, obviously, not globally, locally. And as we remember, having tons of ammunition is the key to success, right, for the Russian army. So part of the for one of the reasons also that Russian army is regrouping and sort of kind of like on a break and takes it easy for now. It was even announced by the Russian president that they sort of getting well-deserved rest, and which obviously has more reasons for that, is because the Russian units that were attacking are exhausted. They need replenishment, resupplies, and also they low on ammunition, like artillery ammunition specifically. So that's a part of the reason that we probably will see relatively slow time for, could be up to a week, or probably less, probably 2-3 days, when Russian troops simply need to have rest, regroup, get their supplies in order, and so on. So that's kind of like the big picture situation for probably next several days, maybe even for a week. Now let's jump into, let's look what's going on east of Kharkiv. So situation here is more or less stable. Russian troops continuing to put pressure here in this area east of Kazacha Lopan, and then also along this road and here. So basically, this is the same picture we've seen so far, except this today Ukrainian troops didn't lose any village, so they managed to hold their position here. Now let's jump south to Izyum bridgehead here. Here actually today Russian troops managed to capture a tiny village. I think it's in English there is a word hamlet, which just means really tiny. It's even hard to show this on this map, so we'll show you zoomed in, more scaled map. So this is villages Dolina in Krasnopila. So this is here. It shows only Krasnopila actually here, right? So this is this road. So this village called Mazanivka, this where this tiny lake here is, you see, kind of like in the middle of the forest. So they managed to capture this village. Today doesn't really change much in the whole sort of front line, but we just wanted to report to make sure that we sort of kind of stay sort of true to what's going on and everybody's up to date. So this is the only, call it, big development for the entire front line for the whole day. So let's quickly jump now to the Lysychansk area and let's see what's going on there. So Ukrainian troops actually managed not to sort of retreat quickly all the way to Siversk, as we suspected yesterday. They managed to actually hold on, so they still controlling part of the Verkhyokamyanske. So basically the fighting is going on in this village. They still control Ivano-Darivka, and they basically can control Serebryanka and this section of the front line. So essentially the fight is, they still kind of controlling this ridge of hills over here. So as we discussed, if they retreat to this valley, it's going to be pretty problematic to defend, right? And the next sort of stopping point, let's put this way, is the next ridge of hills here. And some of the viewers even correctly pointed, saying, okay, you need to put defensive positions on the reverse side of the hill, which really means, like, you know, retreating all the way somewhere here. So that's obviously is pretty unacceptable right now for Ukrainian forces, and specifically more for political top. Given the loss of Lysychansk, loss of Severodonetsk, it becomes quite how to say tense politically in Ukraine. There are no sort of accusations, but it definitely makes people to little question everything. Not sort of the war, but like, okay, if right people in right places, let's put this way, that type of questioning, let's say, is going on. Not this is nothing major, but we're just saying that this becomes very politically unacceptable to retreat and to lose more marquee towns, or at least the towns that everybody knows. For example, like Bahmut would be an example of that town, or Slavyansk, or Kramatorsk. So it all becomes very sort of challenging in a way that politics starts to affect significantly military actions in this way. Then let's keep looking a little bit south. So we see here that Ukrainian troops still holding this road, which, as we mentioned many times, is a really great defensive position, because road has embankment, and essentially you kind of like on the reverse side of the embankment, and it's really hard to hit with artillery, that because artillery is really not made by its engineering, by its design to hit those kind of targets. So that's why this line was able to hold for so long, because that's a sort of natural protective effect of the road embankment essentially here. Now let's move a little bit south. Nothing really new here. Russian Wagner mercenaries are still trying to sort of to make advances towards Bahmut. Nothing new here. Ukrainian front line still holds. Wagner mercenaries managed to, as we discussed before, managed to squeeze out Ukrainian troops out of this village Klinove. However, the front line goes like straight sort of west of the Klinove. So this, call it peninsular or semi-pocket that we see here, is still being held by Ukrainian troops, and there are no active efforts to squish it right now. There are reports that Russian troops are preparing massive attack, specifically towards this power plant, and we think the reports are specifically claiming that Russian troops will attack the power plant, and sort of a little bit knowing the sort of handwriting of the Russian commanders, they are not that, I would say, dumb at this point, and the attack probably will be towards this semi-area with the idea to connect here and effectively create pocket or create the threat of encirclement and force Ukrainian troops to withdraw. And the reason why we're not saying that the attack will be towards the power plant, because power plant is really great, excellent defensive position, right? So you're going to have huge human losses, and really artillery is not going to solve your problems here. It really has to be infantry to infantry fight, which leads to heavy casualties. So, and as we discussed, Russian troops are exhausted as well, need replenishment or need a break, so they're not in position to sort of throw infantry in sort of mass scale attacks that lead to high losses essentially. So that's why we're saying that there might be attack here, because it's very tempting. Obviously this whole position is extremely tempting, I would say. Now let's move south. Let's see what's going on west of Donetsk. Here, situation is stable, unchanging, essentially just exchange of artillery fire. Ukrainian side, as we mentioned before, actively targeting Russian artillery depots with munition, and has been quite successful so far in that way. Now let's move towards south. Let's see what's going on at Zaporizhia front line. Things again here stable, no essential changes here. So everything's kind of the same. The only actually mentioning would be that Ukrainian troops attacked Melitopol airport with the use of HIMARS rocket systems. It sounds like there was more trying to destroy Melitopol because it's the airport, because it's obviously being used actively by Russian Air Force, and that really hinders Russian Air Force capabilities in this area, basically. Maybe there are some artillery munition depots, but we don't know for sure. Then let's now jump to Kherson bridgehead. Situation here again the same, stable, exchange of fire, reconnaissance action, nothing really new. Everything's kind of like on pause here. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow. Bye bye.